Yo, welcome back to the GM Podcast. I'm Miller.
I'm Gav.
And today we are going to be giving you guys some New Year's resolutions for different NBA and NFL teams going into 2025. We're going to start with the NBA. So, Gav, what's one resolution that a team should have this year?
Yeah, so for the NBA, my obvious one, for me personally, and I am kind of, other than the fact that I'm a Celtics fan and I don't want this to get away in our title hopes, and it would, but I'm itching for the Warriors to make a move.
Okay.
I think they're one piece away. I love the Schroeder addition.
Yeah.
And I like what the Warriors did this offseason. And, you know, instead of doing the normal, just going to get a star, they just stack their depth.
They built depth
to where they can play 10 players. They can. I mean, I was hoping to get to see some DeAnthony Melton, but he was injured all season.
Yeah.
So they flipped that into Dennis Schroeder, who was having a good year for the Nets. And I think the 2 to 3 pieces that I would look at is you could go, obviously, the Jimmy route.
Yeah. That's the obvious pick for me.
Yeah, I mean,
just winning basketball, you need to bring that culture back in and go to state.
Exactly, and if I look at all their championship teams, and people don't remember this because they focused on how good Curry was in 2022, but Wiggins was playing at a elite.
And I think Wiggins is kind of the guy that's playing the best out of all of those guys right now, which is sad because you did expect Kuminga to make a big jump.
Exactly. So I think if you add Jimmy Butler to the mix, then it's only going to make Wiggins a little bit better. And then you still got Curry and Draymond. That's just a scary team to face. And you still have Pods. You have Schroeder.
I would get rid of Pods.
Yeah.
I would get rid of Pods and Kuminga.
Yeah.
For Jimmy Butler. And a couple first, obviously.
I'm not going to lie. You can just max out the Curry era.
Absolutely.
And throw in them first-round picks.
And why would you not?
Cause, I mean, at this point, you should just be trying to max out what you can get from Curry.
Yeah.
If you have some 2 to 3 drought years after that, then you could sit back and say it was worth it.
Yeah.
Because you went all in on the greatest point guard of all time.
Absolutely.
And even if it don't work, you still got 4 rings out of that player.
I mean, I feel like even if you get to a conference championship at this point, like in the West, that's kind of an achievement, especially for Steph Curry being later in his career.
Exactly.
I do agree. I think they need to get Jimmy Butler right away because right now it's not cutting it. I don't see them. They don't have the longevity and the youth to carry themselves through a long playoff run.
And the 2 other players that I wouldn't love, but once again, like you're just trying to get the most.
Yeah.
Is maybe you could go get a Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, I like that
one. Maybe at the center position, I don't know. Maybe you could get Walker Kessler for cheap.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, or you could go the Cam Johnson route and kind of just a elite level role player, better role player who's shooting 42% from the 3 this year, averaging 18 a game, 19 a game. And that was just going to make your shooting only even better. I mean, imagine him, Curry. You got Schroeder running the 1 in a sense with Curry off the ball. That team's going to be shooting the lights out with the ball. So I would love to see the Warriors make a move because I think they are a piece away from being a contender. Yeah. And so do you want to go or you want me to give you my second?
I'll go real quick. I kind of have a similar pick. Okay. It's for OKC.
Yeah, I have one for OKC as well.
OKC, get a shooter. The only thing holding you back right now is your shooting because watching them play defense is like art. I mean, they guard. They guard better than any team in the league right now. They have a guy in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander that can get in that mid-range, but he can't live by the 3. They right now have no knockdown shooters, regardless of what you want to say about Isaiah Joe. Isaiah Joe isn't good enough as a talent to get you over that hump, and it seems like when we play in big games,
you're not going to rely on Isaiah Joe to give you 12 points off threes or something.
And Lou Dort, obviously, we keep him, and he's shooting better this year, which is great. But he's still not a high-volume shooter that you would want on a championship-level team. Right now, that's the only thing OKC is missing. And like you said, I'm thinking about Cam Johnson.
Yes.
I'm thinking about Trey Murphy from the Pelicans. If you get Trey Murphy, get Trey Murphy. I know they said he was untradeable for that organization right now. But you throw a couple firsts that way, see if they budge a little bit. Because, once again, you need a shooter. You cannot go through Boston without a single shooter. Now, if you get one and you have Shai and Chet doing what they do, living in the mid-range,
then you have a chance.
Then you absolutely have a chance. But without a shooter right now, I'm going to be honest, as an Oklahoma City fan, I cannot see this team beating Boston in a 7-game series.
No, I can't either. And my reasoning simply is because I think we will outshoot you 4 of the 7 games.
Yeah.
Like, y'all might kill us in the paint, kill us in the mid-range, but I think we'll just outshoot y'all 4 out of the 7 games.
Because if we have one shooter, you can live with Chet shooting threes, Shea shooting threes, Jalen Williams shooting threes.
And when you get a Cam Johnson level type player, it only spaces the floor
up. It opens up way more.
Shea's doing all of this in very tight space.
Yeah.
And once again, no offense to Lou Dort, but Lou Dort shooting the ball extremely well. I need to see him like hit 3 threes in a playoff game or something. Like, because if he's just shooting 1 for 2, we'll live with that even if he's 50%.
I mean, like, we're talking about in an NBA Cup game shooting 5 for 32. I think it was like that. That's atrocious.
That's your clear weakness. Y'all's weakness. Shooting. And then obviously, can Chet stay healthy? Because, and I hope he does.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be, like I said, I have him, I think in his prime, he's going to be that 10 to 5 range. Like, top 10 player in the league.
Absolutely.
He has that much skill and
talent defensively.
Exactly. So, it's just, can Chet and Hartenstein stay healthy? You're big guys, and you got to get a shooter. And the reason that was my resolution as well is because and if you don't do it before the season's over, and you're using this as like a test year, or not a test year, but okay, like we're trying out the whole whatever, then I think it's clear that you have to this offseason.
Yeah.
Like if OKC tries to run it back and just think that, because Chet's going to get better, J-Dub's going to get better because they're young, but we said that last year, and it's not enough if you really want to be enough, if you want to, you need to be aggressive at this point. You need to use what you have, absolutely. Because you got teams because in a sense, yes, y'all got better, but Dallas got better than last year as well. Dallas looks better right now than they did last year when healthy.
Yeah.
So the Celtics didn't have Porzingis, so when they do, obviously, it's a big if because of injuries. But if they do have Porzingis, then they're better than they were last year when they won the championship. So teams got better, and you literally – my thing is it would be different if you only had a few draft picks, but you have 27 picks.
Absolutely.
You don't have that many roster spots because there's so much talent on this roster. There's at least 6 players that I know you're not giving up unless you're getting a superstar. But there's Chet, J-Dub, Shea, Hartenstein, Lou Dort. You're not giving up these players, so I know you're not adding 27 more players.
Absolutely. No.
Give up these picks. I wouldn't even be mad if this offseason they go, hey, man, because I do feel like after this offseason with the older players in the league that, they're kind of on their way out, but they still have a lot of a little bit of gas left in the tank of 20-plus points per game. I feel like there will be a star-level player available for trade this offseason.
Yeah.
That'll be upset after because I'm not going to lie, there's going to be a superstar that's upset in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to be bouncing the first round.
Yeah, that's very true.
I don't know how throw 6 first rounds. I mean, I said this about going to get Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if you throw 8 first-round picks, you could say, you're not going to give him 8, but, that's an automatic ring. If OKC had Kevin Durant right now, it's an automatic ring.
Automatic ring.
It's an automatic ring.
They might go 16-0 in the playoffs.
It's an automatic ring.
They would probably go 16-0.
And that's my point.
Just off of the way they guard.
They guard, and then Kevin Durant and Shea, that's 60 points right there tonight. Yes. That is 60.
Add Chet, that's about 85.
Exactly. So
J-Dub.
And they guard once again.
You really do have to watch that team play defense. And the reason that they're already not title favorites, which is crazy because their defense is crazy. And you don't take that next step. Boston didn't take that next step by playing it safe. They had to give up a guy. Their sole heart of the team. They had to give up Marcus Smart to get where they were. And it's nothing against Marcus Smart, but sometimes you have to make those big swings. And if we don't,
and in reality, we gave up our defense. We gave up Marcus Smart. We gave up the Time Lord,
absolutely,
Rob Williams.
Yeah,
and those are 2 players that you don't want to give up.
No,
but they were easily our best defenders.
Yeah.
But we got Derek White, Drew Holiday, so Drew Holiday can defend, but it's not Drew Holiday's defense that made us better. It's his
offense and what he can do as far as his IQ.
It's even though I hate to say it because I mean, Marcus Smart just was coming off a Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And at the point guard position, Drew Holiday's ability to shoot, his ability to score in playoff games, it's what we needed. We know at Boston we don't need Drew Holiday to go off every game. We need 1 or 2 playoff games from him.
Exactly.
Over the playoffs. Same thing with Derek White. We just need you to make winning plays. So, we added offense. We won the chip. I think y'all add 1 or 2 shooters. I would love to see y'all just, like I said, like.
And I don't think Caruso has worked out offensively like they expected. And
he's averaging 5 a game.
But the thing about it is, people don't even talk about it because he is making that much of an impact still without even shooting a basketball.
Yeah.
Like he's still
he's
once again he's guarding full court. Like he should be, in my opinion, if you watch games, in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation as a guard.
Yeah.
But he obviously won't because he doesn't get the minute share. But do you have another resolution for NBA or?
No, those were my 2. Like I said, I just think OKC, if you don't do it before the season's over, you have to do it. Because when I see all those picks, I'm thinking like you can just get I'm just looking like you can get a ring right now.
Yeah. And you're just saving
you could get a ring right now. Like you could just, you don't have to buy it. You could just trade for a ring right now.
Yeah.
Cause like I said, if you would have went and got Kevin Durant,
yeah.
Do the Suns really say no to 7, 8, 6 first-round picks? Like, what do they say?
Right now, yes. But maybe in the offseason, once they lose again.
I don't know if they say no to that,
I think the offseason was the time to make that. Bro, you can't watch Kevin Durant this year and think they're going to trade him.
Nah, but after getting bounced to the first round, you throw 8 first-round picks.
But that would have been an off-season move that they would have made.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm saying
it's past off-season. Yeah. Not in season. But like I said, like now they're gonna test out the Kevin Durant, Booker, all that this year. But it is, like I said, it was frustrating. I was wanting OKC to make. Hartenstein's good. Yeah, Caruso's good, but I wanted to see them go first start. But we can move on to NFL resolutions.
Well, I got one more NBA.
Okay.
This is for 2 teams actually, but it's along the same lines.
Okay.
Timberwolves and Bulls. Play Rob. Play Matas Buzelis.
Yeah.
Robert Dillingham is averaging 8 minutes a game. Matas Buzelis is averaging 13 minutes a game. Matas is easily more egregious because of the state that the Bulls are in right now.
100%.
You need to let this guy rock out. It doesn't matter if he's going to be a bad basketball player.
Getting rid of Levine.
Get rid of Levine. Should have been gone 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Not because of his skill, obviously. He's going to be a good player.
The Warriors get Levine. That might be.
If we get Levine, I would love Levine on the Thunder. Honestly,
yeah.
I mean he can score
shoot
at a very high clip. But why are we? What are we doing? What are we doing if we're the Bulls? Are we not trying to find a star? I mean, we have been not a good team since Jimmy Butler, and with Jimmy Butler, you were second round exits.
Yeah.
Since Michael Jordan, you haven't done anything. It's been 30 years since you've really been a good franchise. So for you guys to not play Matas Buzelis, it makes 0 sense to me. 13 minutes. Are you trying to win games?
Yeah.
Are you trying to win games for what? You're not gonna get anywhere.
No.
So
you need to be looking for a face.
So in my opinion, there's a difference between tanking and developing your players. I don't think if you play Matas Buzelis 25 minutes a game that you're tanking. No. You're still trying to win games, but you're trying to win games with a guy that can potentially blossom. A guy
that's going to win you games in the future.
That's exactly. So, and with Rob, after the playoffs last year, we talked about how Minnesota lacked scoring in that Dallas series.
Yeah.
You literally got the biggest heater in the draft. You traded up to get this guy. You traded up, and you don't play him. It makes 0 sense. And you haven't figured out an offensive system yet. Julius Randle looks pathetic because Julius Randle has one of the lowest IQs in basketball. That's just what it is.
But also, once again, I still think they traded the wrong big. I don't think it would look as bad. Not saying it would look great.
It would, though. It would. It
bro,
would.
I'm telling you, though, I don't like the Randle. I don't see any successful NBA teams, and this is what makes OKC good as well, when they have Hartenstein killing the paint, but Chet can shoot the 3 ball.
Yeah.
You have 2 players who don't shoot the 3 ball very well because you're living with a Julius Randle 3, in a sense. You're not living with name some good power forwards in the league that shoot the ball. I mean, you could go with Chet. You could go with
Porzingis.
Tatum, Porzingis. You could go with. There's a lot. I've been said this before the season started. I was not a fan of what the spacing was about to look like, and I was like, who's about to be shooting? Like, especially losing DiVincenzo, I'm like, I'm not a fan of like their shooting anymore.
And DiVincenzo hasn't even stepped up at all because he hasn't been given the opportunity. Because once again, the spacing is so poor with
spacing's terrible.
Julius Randle has no clue what he is on the court. It's like when you watch him, you see a big, talented basketball player that doesn't know what he wants to do. It's like watching Wemby kind of right now, except Wemby is going to give you way more effort defensively, and he has way more defensive range than Julius Randle. He doesn't know if he wants to be a big that sets screens. He doesn't know if he wants to be a stretch four.
And once again, he's getting into Barkleys, which is when Julius Randle's at his best, getting into a Barkley every time. But you're getting into...
Hold on. Explain what a Barkley is to
a Barkley is getting into a dribble post-up.
Okay.
So he's getting into these dribble post-ups every single time, which is where he's elite at.
Yeah.
But you have Gobert on the floor.
Exactly.
So what? You're just going to have... You have just a help defender sitting paint because Gobert can't do anything but sit on the block.
Yeah.
And if he's not setting screens. And when Randle has... You're not setting a big-to-big ball screen like that.
And Julius Randle, even if he had a spacing, he has not shown that he's a great back-to-the-basket scorer.
Yeah.
I mean... So, and I thought it was going to, I'm going to be real, I thought that was going to work out better than it did, and it just hasn't. So, we got to start putting Rob in the game because you're not going to be scoring with these teams. Rob is shooting 47 from field goal and 42 from three right now in these limited minutes. Play the guy.
Play him.
It's that simple.
And another thing is, like, it goes back to what I was saying with instant gratification, overreacting with certain players. I think Anthony Edwards, if he wants to be an all-time great, has to get out of Minnesota. I truly do.
Yeah.
I think if he stays in Minnesota, he's just going to be like this really good player that never won a championship, maybe never even, I don't know, like I don't, just maybe makes 2, 3, 4 conference finals, but never gets over the hump. Never.
I think they definitely hit the panic button way too fast.
Early.
Like.
And that's Minnesota.
And that's the franchise.
That's the franchise.
I mean, we talk about it in NFL because it feels like it's more clear as far as which front offices are dominating, which are not. Minnesota's front office right now has made a crucial mistake in rushing that process.
Yep.
Because what are you gonna do now?
Yeah.
With Julius Randle's contract, you just lost.
And go Bears.
You just
You're stuck,
bro. For everything Karl Anthony Towns was not. He was giving you 3 games where he was putting up 30 and playing great defense. And guess what? He guarded Jokic better than a lot of bigs do today.
Yeah.
The best player in basketball. So, obviously, you look at him shooting a 3 ball, and yes, when he went 1 for 9, it looked ugly. And it was ugly when he wasn't contributing.
Yeah.
But it's not like he was the worst defender in the world. Obviously, he has foul trouble. He fouls way more than any other big I've ever seen. It makes zero sense. But he was guarding Jokic better than anybody else. He was spacing the floor better than Julius Randle. So for them to hit the panic button with the face of the league potentially, he's not. And I agree with you. It feels like he's not being protected by this front office, and it sucks to see.
Yeah, no, it does suck to see. Especially he's the fan favorite in the league, especially from last season. I mean, he's got. Everybody's wearing his Adidas shoes. I mean, he had a chance to. I mean, if he would have ended up winning a title or something, he could have been like the face of the league, like that. The Jordan comparisons, but like I said we were overreacting and we were going too fast, and I feel like I was correct in the sense of if he stays in Minnesota, then now if Anthony Edwards goes to a different organization, I think he easily could win a chip.
Yeah,
and you pair him with a really good number 2, like a 1A, 1B, I think it could be.
And then Anthony Edwards isn't playing bad basketball, so I'm not hitting the panic button.
It's not even him. But
we can move on to NFL.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah. So I would love to see the Chargers go pay Tee Higgins.
Okay,
whatever the price.
That was one of mine as well.
Go pay Tee Higgins. I feel like when I talk about the Chargers, when I talked about them possibly going into Arrowhead this postseason and beating the Chiefs, the only thing that holds me back is they don't have the playmaker on the outside to go make plays.
Yeah.
They have the run game. They have the O-line. Jim Harbaugh gets there. Their defense goes from bad to great.
Yes.
So the only thing I think this team is missing is, once again,
a number one.
And
outside guy.
An outside guy, and maybe multiple.
And because McConkey is, in a sense, a number one, but his versatility doesn't let him be an outside receiver.
Yeah.
As a slot, if you put Tee Higgins on the outside, you're going to see how great of a receiver Ladd McConkey is.
Yeah.
And then you have Joshua Palmer, who has built that rapport with Justin Herbert already. You have Quentin Johnston, who...
I mean, if he's a number 3, you're good.
Yeah, and he has been developing. Like, he's obviously the drop problems. I thought if he didn't drop that pass against Baltimore, they could have went down and scored a touchdown that y'all would have been tied, and I still think y'all would have won that game.
Yeah,
of course.
but still.
But it would have that game ended when he dropped that ball. But I think he's still developing and having a much better season than he did last year. So I agree with you on that one.
Especially you talk about him being a number 3. Like, that's a good number 3.
Yeah.
And my second one.
Wait, let me do my first one first, so we could. But yeah, I do like that one.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think there are other teams that could get Tee Higgins, but the Chargers,
Steelers.
Yeah, the Chargers are the team that I would want to see him go to
100%.
because I want them to take out the Chiefs.
100%.
Ravens.
Okay.
Let Derrick Henry win you some football games. Okay. That should be a resolution for 2025. Man.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's going to only be about 5 games. But let's not stray away. The Chiefs are going to be the only great run defense you play against unless you play the Chargers again. And even then, no one on this earth, no defense on this earth can deal with you running the ball with Derrick Henry on schedule every single time. On first down in the playoffs, I want to see Derrick Henry run the ball 75% of the time.
Yes.
Because if you get 2 yards a toe on first down, you're dealing with 2nd and 8, you can deal with running the ball again. You can literally punch a team in the mouth and get them so tired. You could still have Lamar Jackson in the groove. It's not a difficult game plan.
No.
We all want to see the Ravens take that next step.
And I'm interested to see when we play the Chiefs because we didn't have the run game figured out. We figured out very quickly. We didn't figure it out against the Chiefs though. That let him get a running head start. Let Derrick Henry get behind. I form, single back.
Exactly.
That's where he's best at.
Yeah.
We were messing up against Chiefs because we were doing all these read option stuff. That's not what Derrick Henry is.
No.
Put a fullback in front of him, let him run behind it. You can't stop him.
You can't stop him like that.
So I would love to see we've rematched the Chiefs, what that looks like. Our defense only getting better, moving Kyle Hamilton back.
Yeah.
But yeah, that and then my New Year's resolution would be draft defense.
Was that your second one?
No, but just add upon to the Ravens.
For the Ravens?
Yeah, add upon, just get some defense.
Yeah, 100. Probably a corner.
Yeah.
A corner. Nate Wiggins has been, I think he'll develop a little bit more, but he hasn't been a lockdown corner his first year, and no one expected him to, so it's fine. What's your second resolution?
My second resolution is Bengals pay Jamar Chase.
Yes.
Pay Jamar Chase and draft straight defense.
Yeah.
Pay Jamar Chase. It's pretty evident that if Joe Burrow had 28 other defenses, he would probably have 12 wins.
Yeah.
10 wins, 11 wins. He'd definitely be in the playoffs. And I don't know what else you need to see from Jamar Chase to pay him.
Yeah.
Shows how cheap this franchise is, and it's the Bengals. Once again, we talk about organizations. It's frustrating to see he hasn't got paid yet, and especially if you're not bringing Tee Higgins back.
I'm confused on what chapter they're missing, what book they didn't read to where we're watching this in 4K for 4 years now.
Yeah,
and he still has not got paid. Why it pisses me off. There's nothing else to say about that one. But since you took my first one, I got a spare one.
Okay,
Bears, and I wonder how you're gonna think about this one. This might be a little different. Go get Mike Vrabel.
I don't hate it.
I know Ben Johnson is the guy that people want to develop Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Go get Mike Vrabel. This organization is cursed. This organization has not been good in either one of our lifetimes. We have never seen a good Bears team. The best Bears team we've seen is Mitch Trubisky on the double doink. So I strongly believe if you get in there, you build O-line, and you get Mike Vrabel, you can be a good team right away. Now, maybe I am putting too much stock on Mike Vrabel because I think people forget Mike Vrabel had Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown.
And I don't.
But that's my thing. Mike Vrabel can get in there and have your defense cooking with gas. And it's already a top 10 defense. I think it's 10 right now in scoring. If you get that right and you draft offensive line, once again, you got a great right tackle who you drafted in the first round. The rest of your guys are undrafted. Build that offensive line. Get another running back because DeAndre Swift is good, but he's more of an explosive guy. He's not a down and down back like a Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Get another back, and you can develop Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams has an entire year. He hasn't played pathetically this year, even though I think people have defended him far too often. I think he is absolutely. I think Eberflus was a bit of a scapegoat, even though he made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake.
100%.
But I think Mike Vrabel can fix this franchise better than Ben Johnson can, because I don't know, just looking at Ben Johnson, it kind of gives like a quirky vibe. Like maybe he does work on this offense, but what happens to the defense when he leaves? When he comes in, that's what I'm scared of.
I think when you're taking over an organization like the Bears, and you're taking over these organizations that struggle and are just cursed and have just had a bad history.
Yeah.
I think you need more than just a good coach that is with X's and O's, which Ben Johnson will be the X's and O's, will be the scheme. Like, I think Ben Johnson will be great at that part. You got to be able to lead a locker room.
Absolutely.
You got to be able to turn and Vrabel, the Titans have a lot of issues in their organization, and he was able to overcome that just because of the leader he is, the players coach he is.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely a better fit. I agree. I would go get Vrabel, simply off the fact there's a lot of dysfunction. In the organization, and you need a certain type of coach, like a Mike Tomlin, a Vrabel, that type of coach to overcome dysfunction in the organization, rather than a Ben Johnson, a Kingsbury. Like that's not the guy that turns around the Bears. That's the guy that turns around an organization that is perfectly fine and just is a coach away, a schematic coach away. Same thing. Eric Bieniemy is not the guy that's going to turn over. You know what I'm saying? Those type of guys, I don't feel like are going to turn around the Bears. Those are the type of guys you put with a quarterback away.
So where would you like to see Ben Johnson go?
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't even have a team in my head right now. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. But me personally, I would just steal exactly what the Cardinals did with Kingsbury.
Yeah.
I would love to see him go coach one of these rookies, Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders.
Yeah. So
that's, other than that, I think he might be better, and you don't want to get too put back in the hiring process, but I don't think it would hurt him to wait another year.
Yeah, like just stay.
Yeah.
Detroit it's still building. I don't think he should be in a rush to take a job when he is the best at his job right now.
Yeah.
It is not close. He is one of the best offensive coordinators in the world. So no, he probably is the best offensive coordinator in the world right now. So I don't think he should be in a rush. Having that title is pretty impressive by itself. More impressive than Antonio Pierce being a head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he's better at his job than Antonio Pierce is being a head coach. 100%. So like you said, I would love to see him with Shadur Sanders. The only team that I could think of that I would want to see Ben Johnson go to, though, is maybe the Saints.
Yeah.
And even the Saints are in cap hell. But if he goes to the Raiders, like, what is he going to do? Antonio Pierce is already there. Like, he hasn't been doing horrible. That roster is probably the worst in the league. And then the Giants, Dable is already there. Like, I would build with Dable because Dable kind of has the same resume as Ben Johnson had when he was leaving Buffalo. So,
and also, again, I don't think he's the guy that turns around the Giants.
Yeah.
I think he's the guy that takes the job of the 8-8 team that should have been better. I think he takes that type of job.
I just thought about one team, though.
Okay.
The Jags.
Yeah.
I would like to see Ben Johnson go to the Jags.
Yeah, like with Trevor Lawrence, I would like that.
If you have a team, look, all that market needs, and we talk about this all the time, these small market teams, they don't really, as far as the NFL goes, they don't really need to win. Like, as long as you're giving something for the fans to come and have fun at the games, the Panthers are doing that right now. All you need is good vibes to keep that organization going. And if they go 8-8 because Trevor Lawrence is putting up 30 a game, then so be it.
Yeah.
So be it. Ben Johnson, you won. Because I don't know how that defense is going to be, obviously, but if you just draft defense,
100%.
They have good pieces. They have a good running back.
Yeah.
Offensive line is
receivers.
Probably,
they don't have a number one, but they have a lot of good.
Brian Thomas is going to be a number one.
Yeah, Brian Thomas is going to.
He's going to be a number one. So I think that should be the spot for Ben Johnson. I love that spot for Ben Johnson. I just thought about that, but Bears, I would much rather have Mike Vrabel. 100%.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace out.